Story 1. My girlfriend asked for an open relationship after cheating. She got it, but now wants to close it. Well, I'm a long-time lurker, but now I think I'm a part of a club that any of us wanted to be. Sorry for poor English. Throwaway for secrecy. My girlfriend and I are both 23, been together for 4 years at this point, and had a pretty good relationship. Or so I thought. I'm in college and working part-time, so I can pay the bills. She does this too. But we do not live together. I'm a very romantic guy, so every time we were together, I was all over her, kissing, hugging. That's my love language, and she did it too. But a few weeks ago she started pulling away from me, stopped initiating, etc. I knew what was up. I've read enough stories from here to know what was coming my way. I started to pull away as well, and drop simple hints that I knew something, but did not confront her, didn't touch her either for that entire week. I think that did the trick because at the end of the week she confessed. But of course with much gaslighting, but weirdly she did not blame shift anything. Drops out that she have been going on random dates for 2 weeks at that point. She already had like 5 of them. She said the whole I want to explore thing. And I just agreed. I knew this was over, but didn't want her to explode at that point by ending things, so I just played along. She proposed an open relationship with some rules, like not sleeping over, no more than 1 or 2 dates with the same person and not sleeping with friends, and I agreed. I'm a kinda good-looking guy. I'm not very pretty, but I take care of myself. That has been enough for having some flirt from girls in college or from work, so I knew I would have a bunch of dates without dropping a sweat. She is a pretty girl, so she had her share too. But when I was at her place and had a date that night, she would just stare at me while I dressed up, and I knew she was jealous, but I just couldn't give a SHT. We barely had sex and the affection I gave her before did not exist anymore. She have grown a little depressed over the course of 3 weeks, and last night she asked to close up the relationship, and I couldn't hold it, so I blasted out laughing and told her no. She was the one that wanted to keep a relationship and didn't lift a single finger to work for it, so then I didn't give a damn about it too. I just ended things right there and then, and gone out for my date. Today she is blowing up my phone asking for forgiveness and to be back together. I didn't respond, but she have gone as far as give me a hall pass for sleeping around. Now I'm here, writing this stuff trying to think why, but I don't think I'll find out. Thanks for hearing my vent. TLDR, my girlfriend asked for an open relationship after cheating. I agreed, but now that I had a bunch of dates she wants to close it, so I broke up with her. Update. Hey guys, I posted here like 2 months ago about my ex-girlfriend that confessed cheating on me with a bunch of random dates because she wanted to be free, but still loved me. My post was removed, so I will give you a little bit of context. I may repost it on my own profile if you guys want to check it out. Long story short, when she confessed, asked for an open relationship to explore, I said sure, why not, and had my bunch of dates, but still fooling her that we were still on a relationship. She had been just demoted to FWB and didn't know. After 3 weeks of seeing me go on dates, she got depressed and asked to close the relationship again, so I broke up with her. Now for the update. It's now Christmas afternoon here, and her family has just passed by and greeted me, thanking me for being a good son-in-law for them for the last year, and apologized for their daughter's behavior. That caught me off guard, because I didn't think that my ex would tell them the truth about the nature of our breakup, especially with the fact that they hadn't contacted me in any way over those 2 months that had passed. This is the fact that triggered me to update on my situation. About my situation with my ex, now there is none. It has been a little bit more than a month with NC, and I'm very happy with that. We maintained a little bit of contact, but not the normal one, I must say. LOL. She was stalking me on my socials, leaving creepy responses on other girls' comments with random accounts. Every time I blocked one, she created other 2. How did I know it was her? She told me while chasing me. She camped outside my house on a weekend day, waiting for me to come out and ambushing me into talking to her again. When I opened my garage to start working on my bike, she just jumped right in and tried hugging me. It's pretty pathetic. But I started running around my house with her after me trying to catch me to do God knows what. I was able to call the police and got to hide inside my house again. My garage was still open though, so she kicked my bike down and screwed it up a little bit. Soon the cops arrived and got her arrested. She resisted, which caused to worse her situation. I testified and they let me go. She got admitted on a mental facility for some issues she already had, but hasn't treated correctly, and mostly because of the psychotic breakdown she was having at the moment. I don't really know how she got that obsessed with me. We hadn't talked since I blocked her in the day of the post I made. But being now on NC for that long again is giving me hope that this shitshow is about to end. My friends, I got now a restraining order and I hope to never see her again in my life. Thanks for the support you guys gave me on my other post. I didn't get to answer everyone, but I read it all. Again, thank you. TL. Doctor, my crazy cheating ex-girlfriend stalked me and got admitted into a mental facility. Reader comment. Opening a relationship usually doesn't fix it. The mistrust is already there. She screwed up. It's her problem, not yours. And most likely she had feelings for one of her effing buddies and he left her, so now she wants to settle down. Don't fall for that. Original poster. I was all for it when she said about the open relationship. But she misunderstood one thing. It would be a lot more open. Some call it breakup. Reader comment. Many men would envy you the way you handled your ex, rather than crying and begging. Original poster. My man. I'm not proud about anything. I was really petty on this. I made sure she knew every time I was out with some girl. But be damned if I regret anything I did. A little bit after I posted this, I responded to her what I was truly thinking all the way. She responded with a EFFU. Oh well, EFFU. Reader comment. A success story. While she keeps getting pumped and dumped by people who only want the pee to make sure you push on with a fantastic girl who actually cares about you. Original poster. This is not a success. This is just me wanting to be as hurtful as it can be. I'm not proud, but be damned if I regret something. Story 2. My wife cheated on me. We're going through the divorce process and live in the same house. She is gaslighting the hell out of me. I feel like staying under the same roof is horrible for my mental health. Need some advice. As the title suggests, my wife cheated on me multiple times throughout the course of the last few months. I had a sneaking suspicion pretty much immediately when the affair started. However, she was so convincing when I talked with her. I was never vindictive or overly confrontational when I brought it up, but man, when I did, she'd flip the script on me like I'm some kind of bad guy for trying to discuss our relationship and questioning her integrity. Anyways, I found out she was constantly on her phone. And one night, I did what I had to do and read her text messages. I confronted her the next morning about the affair, and she lied. I confronted her again, this time telling her I have seen her text messages, and she lied again. Finally, I had to literally recite some of the messages I read, and she just fell silent. Her response to all of this was not to apologize, but instead she told me if didn't push her to that point, she never would have done it. I know I'm an anonymous stranger on the internet, but guys, when I tell you I have never in my life done anything to my wife that would make her cheat, I'm not kidding. I've never been physical with her, never yelled at her, never really done anything that would make me question my own integrity. Truly, I'm not perfect, but I honestly have been a good husband to her. Well now, living with her has been hell. She is telling anyone and everyone we know that I have emotionally abused her. Even after finding out, I have never been mean, yelled, etc. I've told her I'm heartbroken and we're definitely getting a divorce, but honestly, that's where it starts and ends. Every little word that comes out of my mouth she twists like I'm some kind of bad guy. She claims I'm gaslighting her, which is crazy because she is gaslighting me. She's always mean and confrontational when I see her, and honestly, I don't really say anything because I just know it'll be taken the wrong way or twisted in a way I didn't intend, and she'll start an argument. What do I do? Why is she being so horrible? Shouldn't I be the one mad at her? Honestly, I just want to coast out this divorce process and move on, but she is so overly combative it's making a cordial divorce very, very difficult. At first, her gaslighting was getting to me. I was questioning myself hard. But I've had some time to step back and think rationally, and what she is claiming simply is not true. Someone helps a brother out, because I'm struggling. Edit 1. Holy SHT, the amount of advice, support I've gotten from you all is mind-blowing. To anyone that contributed, I truly mean this. Thank you. Edit 2. It's been a day since I posted. I implemented the gray rock method immediately following this post, and it is working. It's driving her crazy, and in return, keeping me grounded. This post has saved my sanity. Thank you all so much. Reader comment. Learn the value of gray rock and the 180 methods. Return her level of energy but have other coping mechanisms when she's not around. Find ways to release emotional energy not around her. Don't waste any more energy in a conversation with her. Start planning how and when you can move. Remove all mutual friends that don't support you from your life. Focus fresh and with healthier people. Original poster. Just Googled gray rocking, and that was super helpful. Thank you. I have definitely inadvertently been practicing some of these methods in response to this, but this gives me something to be mindful about. I don't think my wife is a full-on psychopath or anything, but understanding how I can disengage from confrontation and someone who is looking for it is helpful. Reader comment. No one wants to be the villain in their own story. So that she can live with herself, she needs to make you the villain. Don't let her do this. Expose her to everyone. Don't let her be the official historian on your marital story. Original poster. This is true. Gonna sound a little crazy, but to some capacity, I feel like me continuing to be cordial and mature about this is what's getting her so combative. My reaction isn't quite quite aligning with her story, and that is causing her to lash out at me. If what I just said is true, that's her burden to bear. I don't want to be aggressive or vindictive and make whatever weird version of reality she has true. Reader comment: no one makes another cheat. You do not have to defend yourself. I promise we all believe you. My cheater moved out right away to live with the new girlfriend, but otherwise the start of my story is somewhat similar. And the gaslighting. Oh, the gaslighting. Still sorting out reality in my head. It's terrible. I'll get there someday, but right now it's awful. I'm sorry. Agree with others who have posted here regarding minimal contact and gray rocking. It's hard, but imagine a wall surrounding you and protecting your sanity. You will make it. I'm sorry. Original poster. Appreciate your words of encouragement. It's crazy when someone is trying to convince you that you made them cheat. Doesn't even make sense. Wishing you all of the best as well. Update. Been 3 weeks since my original post, so I figured I'd post an update. Long story short, my wife had an affair and was really making me feel horrible about myself, turning her friends against me like I'm a monster and genuinely just being a really uncharacteristically awful human being. If you're going through the divorce process or your spouse cheated on you and is making you feel bad about it, I feel like I have some solid stuff to share. My STBXW and I are well on our way through the divorce process now. I didn't kick the can too much on the divorce, didn't second guess myself, kept the course, and because of that I'm almost free. My soon-to-be ex has done and said some extremely crazy, illogical, and hurtful things along the way. At this point, every word she says further seals this divorce and solidifies my decision. I've been told I made her cheat. I've been told I abused her. I've been gaslighted on multiple occasions during our settlement that the morally right thing to do is size, and the list goes on. Sometimes I wonder if she's even living on planet Earth with how she's thinking about things. This divorce has opened my eyes quite a bit, and I'm realizing I was a little bit of a sucker. I love with my whole heart, and because of that, I've allowed her to manipulate my emotions along the way, question myself, etc. I fell into an empathy trap. And what I mean by that is I empathized with her even when the things she thought or said made no sense. I unintentionally fueled completely irrational thoughts. The script has been flipped entirely. She doesn't even know how to interact with me when she can no longer manipulate me, and because of that, the only thing she can do is get mad, explode, etc. Essentially go into an unprovoked rage. If I snapped one day and called her every name in the book, it would be the equivalent of resuscitating her. It would give her relief, not make her feel worse, which is twisted in every way, but I know it's the truth. Anyways, I haven't given her an inch. Not a single inch. I'm not mean. I'm not aggressive. I'm not vindictive. I'm none of those things, and never have been. I'm confident. I'm grounded. And I'm thinking rationally, logically. Not letting my heart take the wheel. Not slipping up or losing my cool. And certainly not letting her manipulate me any further. She's still in her cheater's fog. She still feels justified for her decisions, etc. I have not, and doubt I ever will, received an apology. Not from her anyhow. Her family has apologized profusely, which is appreciated, but doesn't necessarily cover up the hurt I experienced. I will admit in this moment, the hurt I see in her family far outweighs the hurt I feel for losing my wife. They're good people. It is unfortunate the apple fell far, far from the tree. In a few short weeks I'm a free man. Not sure when the fog will be lifted for her, but I do have sympathy for her to a capacity. There will be a day she wakes up. A day where reality, real life catches up with her. Don't know if that's a few months, a year, or half a lifetime, but it'll come. There will be a day she is sitting in her apartment, home, alone, and the burning fling she had will begin to die out. I empathize with her because the pain she will feel in that moment will be exactly what I felt. Absolutely crushed. Physically sick to my stomach, and an emotional mess. Truly, I was a phenomenal husband. It is now, and always has been my personality to be a chipper smiling face for her, jovial, and a rock-solid shoulder to lean on. Reliable, loyal, and loving would all be understatements, and she will grow to recognize that she hit the lotto on her first go-round and nuked the marriage to pieces with what she'll one day recall as the biggest mistake of her life. A fling, an exciting affair, etc. cannot and never will be able to replace a lifetime partner who understands and willingly accepts genuine commitment. She will one day learn and understand that. I've put in my time. I've experienced the hurt. I've reflected on myself, our marriage, and what led us to this point. I sought professional counsel to make sure I was giving myself the opportunity to decompress my thoughts and emotions. I've read literature. I've critically analyzed myself and my behavior to try and pinpoint exactly what it was that led her to do what she did. Fact is, nothing I did led her to cheat. Nothing. I wasn't perfect. Nobody is. But I loved her. I would work and make sacrifices for her. And the fact of the matter is that wasn't a two-way street. The lies, the manipulation, All of the wild things she says she truly may believe, but they're not coming from a place of rationality. She gave up on a marriage that I was putting 100% effort into and had an affair on someone that would have gone to the moon and back for her. It destroyed my confidence, not going to lie, but in these moments of absolute emotional agony and adversity, it will make me a better man on the other side. Guys, seriously, if you're unhappy in a marriage, communicate. Do not cheat. And if you do cheat, own it. Look internally. Don't further hurt those people around you and blame them. Hundreds of hours of ruminating, thinking about myself, blaming myself, etc. all could have been prevented by a simple phrase from my soon-to-be ex. Hey, I'm sorry, I effed up. I don't know if anyone here needs to hear this, but if you're currently playing the blame game, down on your dauber, feeling like you took a hit to your confidence, etc., stop. Reflecting on yourself is powerful, and I think critique is good to a capacity, but you don't drive someone to an affair. You cannot accept blame for another individual's character flaw, period. If things are messed up, you've tried counseling, gone down every avenue to correct things, etc. A divorce is the appropriate next step, not a secret affair. I'll leave you with this. My soon-to-be ex looked me directly into my eyes and said with 100% confidence, I'm not the type of person to have an affair. That's not who I am. You led me to that point. If you've ever heard that phrase before, or hear it in the future, package it up in a pretty box, make sure it's nice and sealed, and shove it right where the sun doesn't shine. That doesn't even make sense. I'd love to rob a bank and tell the officers I'm not the type of person to rob a bank, and the government made me do it, but I'm a rational adult, and that's now how it works. Thanks for reading and allowing me to share my thoughts, and thank you for all of the advice on my original post. This sup has been monumental in my sanity for the past 3 weeks. Reader comment. There is a lot of residual traumas you will need to work on when finally separate. It's hard to heal under current circumstances. Original poster. Thank you for the heads up. Hey, that's why we're here. I can tell you right now I have every intention to run right into the storm, not away from it. I have no intention to carry around emotional baggage for years to come. Or worse, onto another partner. Reader comment. I heard something really cool today. Narcissist prayer. Ever heard of that? That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't that bad. If it was, it wasn't a big deal. And if is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, then you deserved it. Original poster. Haha, I can say with 100% confidence I have not heard that before, but let me tell you, that sums it up pretty well. I genuinely never recognized narcissistic tendencies in her behavior prior to this. Not sure if it's because I brought out the best in her and those tendencies are just now surfacing, or if I overlooked them, but they're certainly front and center now. I love goofy sayings like this. So thanks for sharing. Reader comment. Great post and I'm really happy for you. The pity you express for her over the future, however, is only a comforting fantasy. It's probably better to accept that she may never recognize what she did was wrong or feel any of that guilt. She'll find more and more enablers to keep those feelings at bay, just how it is. But it doesn't matter. You get to move on and be away from her and find someone better. And that's enough. Original poster. Well said. I don't care to see the day she comes full circle. Whether she does or not is her burden to bear. I do recognize that while I will be off to greener pastures, she'll be stuck in the same cycle until that day comes. There are ebbs and flows in a marriage. It can be rainbows and butterflies 95% of the time. But if both parties can't gear up for the rain, and your response to adversity is to seek another person, it's gonna be a rough ride. Marriage may just not be the answer at all if you can't acknowledge or